can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie 'em to the ground. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at. Be turning back around. Can't stop me.
Good evening. I mean, with me tonight is Brenda.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to be with you.
It's always great to be with you, to have people in with us. So, tell us about your book, Divine Mother's Healing.
Okay, I'll give a little preview of what the cover looks like. As you can see, this is a big. How am I doing here?
You're doing good.
Is it on the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. So anyway, I do energy healing, and this is kind of a how-to book for energy healing. It includes all of the vibrational tools that I have uncovered, and I call it Divine Mother Healing because I received these tools from the Divine Mother of the universe. I mean, that sounds, a little amazing, but I went searching for the kingdom of heaven about 35, let's see, it's about 25 years ago now, 30 years ago. And because I wanted to talk to God. And I had been a meditation teacher for many years. And I had learned how to go deep and settle and go into that depth of silence, that source of all life. And yet I wasn't having I basically wanted to have a conversation with the creator of the universe. And I had read a lot of scripture and so on. And one of the things that kept coming at me was the kingdom of heaven is within you. And many people are seeking the kingdom of heaven outside in the world. And I decided, okay, if it's within me, I'm going to go on a quest to find it. So I went on an inner quest. It was not that hard to do that since I had been meditating for so many years. I closed my eyes and would settle within. But most of the time, there was just silence or I want to say darkness, but I don't mean darkness in any kind of a negative sense. It was a lively darkness, a lively quiet. And nothing happened for a while. I was just settled in this darkness. And finally, I said, where are you? I said, Jesus, you're the one that said the kingdom of heaven is within. Where is it? Nothing happened. No answer, just silence. And this went on for several weeks, even months. And if there's one thing I am, it's persistent. So I refused to stop. I did believe that what I had read in the scriptures, that the kingdom of heaven is within. This is what Jesus said. I believed it. I basically took it on faith that was true. And so I kept I called it my heaven research. And one day, as I was sitting there with my eyes closed, I saw this little sparkle of light in kind of the lower left-hand corner of my visual field. And I thought, whoa, something's happening. And I started to watch the light. And light started to display itself to me. It started to burst into 100 different spots, or it came as a big wave, or it would pulse. I mean, when you close your eyes and watch light, it does some pretty amazing things. So I got so that I was watch every day now when I went into my research, I would watch the light. And I noticed it started to make me feel really good. That when I watched the light, I started to feel great, And then the light would pour into me. It would fill me up. It was doing all this. The light also seemed to like being observed. And so I continued, and this went on and on and on. And finally, I started using the light by outside of this heaven research. When I didn't feel so good, I would say, divine light is pouring into me now. Divine light is filling me now. I would start giving words to what I experienced when I had my eyes closed and was just watching the light. And I noticed not only did I start feeling much, much better, but the energy around me improved and the people around me. I started experimenting with my husband. He would get home from work kind of grumpy and, had a rough day or something. And I would start pouring light into him. I didn't tell him I was doing this internally. And I noticed it changed his demeanor. It changed the way he operated. And so the divine light became my first vibrational tool. And I still use it to this day. I pour light into people and situations. Because what I've learned from it is that light is a thing. It's an energy that is actually manifesting for us to use and for us to grow from, learn from, heal with. So anyway, to make this long story a little shorter.
Actually, it's very interesting. You went looking for the kingdom, I'm sure the masculine God and, the Christian Jesus, but you find the divine mother.
That's right.
How much was that a shock for you? Because there's few Christians that know that there was a Jewish goddess that was edited out of the Bible.
Oh yeah. The divine feminine was very much edited out of the Bible.
Right. And then we have, the Gnostic Gospels that still have her in it. They were never edited out.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Pagans have been agreeing with the divine feminine for ages now. So how did this change your mindset?
Yes. Okay, well, first of all, I'll tell you, just a minute, that my original mindset was kind of like being an atheist. And then before I started all this search, and even before I started to meditate, I decided I wasn't going to believe anything that didn't reveal itself to me, that didn't prove itself to me. So I just, partied and had a great time and, enjoyed life. And then one day, as I was just lying in a field looking up at the stars, well, it was a daytime, so I actually couldn't see the stars, but I knew they were there. So I was looking into the blue, kind of between where I knew the stars were supposed to be. And I just had this basically, full-on experience of being everything, of a oneness experience.
Right.
And once I came back from that oneness experience, it was like God just proved itself to me, himself, itself.
Right.
Because I realized, whoa, I'm one with everything. That means I am God. And then I thought, I'd better not tell anyone that. People then
I do it all the time. That's one of my literally
nowadays,
my partner's favorite thing is, saying, "Oh God," and I'm like, "What do you want?"
Well, nowadays it's okay, but this was back. This was 1969 in academia, and it was not the usual experience. I mean, people. When I told people that I was experiencing being one with everything, and I was a little hesitant to say one with God because, I
Mm-hmm.
thought, oh gosh, they're going to really think I'm crazy. They did tell me, you should go to a psychiatrist. And others
Mm-hmm.
would say, you got to be on a drug. You're on a drug. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, this was just a nice, clean experience on a summer day.
Mm-hmm.
But what it did was it started me seeking. And it also made me believe in God, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So I was no longer an atheist. And then I learned to meditate. I taught meditation for a long time. I met a number of great awakened masters,
Mm-hmm.
Western and Eastern, and
Mm-hmm.
learned from them. And then getting back to my original story of watching light, one day I was watching the light. This is getting now to Divine Mother. And I watched it. I had this experience frequently of perceiving how a wave of light would rise out of this expanse of wholeness, this expanse of pure being.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch it rise up, and then it would be like, it was like a wave in my
Mm-hmm.
awareness, and it would then break in two, and then those two waves would break into two, and a few more waves would break into two, and then they started to interact with each other, and as they interacted, they would create and they would move, and it was like just a fascinating display of a creative process. And
Mm-hmm.
at one point I said, who are you? And the voice within me came back saying, I am the Divine Mother. I am birthing the universe. Well, that I was like awed and overwhelmed, and I continued to just
Mm-hmm.
watch this amazing process of manifestation until eventually these waves that I was watching would become little rivulets and vibrational fields and particles, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually what I identified as atoms, and then they would create matter. And it was like, wow, the Divine Mother is really capable of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, that's when I thought, I want to learn more from her. I want to learn about this birthing of the universe. So that's
Mm-hmm.
when I signed on with Divine Mother. And I basically took her as my internal teacher. And she still is my internal teacher. And today, what I'm doing is I have a website, divinemotheronline.net, where I'll spell that out later, where I invite people to get to know the Divine Mother. Well, she's within everyone. She is everyone.
Right.
And I teach people how to communicate with her. And if you can't communicate, if you're having a lot of pain or troubles in your life, use her vibrational tools, which again are in this book I've written, Divine Mother
Mm-hmm.
Healing. This
Yeah.
book I'll mention is a workbook.
Yes.
The first 40 pages are about me and my journey and what I learned, but
Mm-hmm.
the book itself is if you want to learn energy healing, just open the book and start reading, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll teach you how to do it. And
Yeah.
you can do it from, you can do a long healing, which goes really deep, or you can do a 20-minute one. I've got a healing on the run, a mini
Mm-hmm.
healing. So
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, it's a
And it's a
fantastic
good.
resource.
It takes a good week read. If you're just going to sit down and read it, not do the exercises, it takes a good week,
Yeah.
guys, to get through and do it. Because I read it in a weekend, but A, I'm a speed reader, and B, the material I knew, so it wasn't like I had to go research some extra words or anything. But it's a
Great.
good book. You've done some good research in it. I loved your story in it. And I like the exercises. They're actually fun.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah. Well, You know, I mean, for a long time, I think a lot of us have been wanting to do something to help this earth evolve, to help the human race recognize, you know, the divinity that we are, the great beings that we truly are. And it's so sad how we've diminished ourselves, and how we have not recognized the gifts that we have within. And so
Right.
one of my reasons for writing this book was to share what I had learned and to empower people that when you're in a sticky situation, or when you're in a depression, or whatever, you just broke up with, you know, your significant other and you're feeling horrible, there's a way to bring energy into you to shift the way you're feeling. Or even this happens a lot when you listen to the news and you start feeling, you know, depressed and overburdened by it, to change that situation. And it isn't just by changing your mind. That's, in my experience, that's temporary. It's about changing your energy field, your vibrational field. And so we unfortunately have blocks in our system that are blocking life force. Our life force is flowing everywhere, and it's flowing into our bodies. And when that life force gets blocked, well, one of the first things that happens is illness. The body starts to develop an illness of some kind. If we don't clear it quickly, then it becomes a long-term illness, or even a life-threatening illness.
Right.
But it also affects other things. It affects our relationships. It affects our finances. It truly affects our spirituality. So all the experiences we have in the outer field, especially the negative experiences, are caused by blocked energy in my world of understanding. The experiences, the positive experiences, is the unblocked energy. It's the life force energy, that what also called the divine energy, that creates all the joy and the love and the creativity. You know, the tremendous creativity is coming from this power of life energy. So unfortunately, a lot of people have a lot of blocks in their systems. And so my healing method is designed to clear those blocks.
How would you describe your healing method? Because, like, Reiki, let me give you some bases. Like, Reiki for me feels like cold fire, whereas, like, Kalani healing is very energetically firecrackers breaking things up.
Ah,
How would you describe the energy wave with yours?
well, would you like to experience a little of it?
Sure.
Okay. I hadn't ever thought about how I describe it. Mostly, I think I would say love, because I connect with the Divine Mother. When I begin the healing, and it's in this book, I always urge people to call on the Divine Mother. I have an invocation with many names of Divine Mother from all the different spiritual traditions of the world. And I know there are even more names than the ones I mention in the book. So I start by unifying with the Divine Mother. And so if someone is going to use the book, I would say, now we're going to unify. We're going to have an invocation. And then we're going to set up a protective shield around us so that the agitated vibratory frequencies of the world can't get in and ruin what we're creating. So I do something where I close your aura. I close the aura to well, we'll do it in a few minutes, but to the emotional discord, the mental discord, not just that of the world, but to our own, that is also agitating our system. So I start to create a healing container. And then I start. I basically call on the Divine Mother. This is what I personally do, and I have designed the book to help people learn to do that. To find where the blocks are in a person's system. And what I've learned over the years is to use my own body as a reflector of the person's body that I'm with. So if I feel a pain in the heart, I'll immediately go to that person's heart and start breaking up the pain. I have a break command, break, 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 and then telling it to go into the light. It's an energy, and you can enter. All energy is intelligent. Everything in the universe is intelligent. So you can actually say, go into the light to a thought form, and it will go into the light. And if it doesn't, you tell it again, because sometimes the thought forms are layered. Another thing to recognize is that when you're connecting to the calling in the Divine Mother, and I also call upon the father aspects of the divine as well, and that you unite with them. We are already one with them, but we often don't recognize that. So as you call them in, you expand into them. So you're doing and it's funny to say them because they are already us. You could say, I expand into myself as a divine being. And so when the divine issues a command and says to a discordant energy, go into the light, well, it has to go, because it's been commanded by the supreme being of the universe. So go into the light is one of the things I use a lot to clear discordant energy. And unfortunately, there are a lot of, I'll say, entities that are functioning in the world and in the universe, but definitely in this world, that are not fully awakened, not fully enlightened, and actually are they're harmful. I'll just say it that way. They don't realize that the nature of life is to grow and expand and experience their fullness. They need to go into the light. And so I'm sending. So that's the go into the light command, which is one of my healing tools, is a divine. It's a divine command, but it's also a divine blessing. So anything you send into the light, it's not like get into the light, and you say it.
No,
It's you say it firmly, because a lot of these energies are stuck. They're stuck in different places, but you say with love. So it's go into the light. You firmly and kindly go into the light. And there's a lot of repetition in the healing practice I use, because we are multidimensional beings. And often the vibrational, the energies, the blocks in our system are layered. They're not just on the surface. They're in our emotional field, our mental field. They're layered through our multidimensional field, the causal field, definitely the actual level. So we'll say go into the light, and then go. That clears the surface. But then go into the light again. Go into the light, and always add that into the light, because you want to tell them where to go. So these energies don't just float around and land on someone else, which unfortunately happens. And that happens because people's auras are so open. That's why I recommend all the time. It's like vibrational hygiene, I guess you could call it.
Right.
Just like we brush our teeth in the morning and wash our face, we need to close our aura every day on this planet, because especially at this sort of, I call this a very turbulent time of transformation on Mother Earth. And
Well, you're not the only one. A lot of writers are talking about tower times, turbulent times. We're definitely going through a shift of energy with it. And it's because we're having to rediscover tools that were commonplace
yeah,
200 years ago.
that's right. Yes, they were, but we've forgotten them. Not, and let alone tools that were commonplace 3,000 years ago or a millennium ago. I mean, those are the deep, powerful things that are that are being resurrected today, because we need it. The human race needs it so desperately to pull ourselves out of this crazy downward spiral. We need to reverse it so that we're in this upward spiral. We're in an ascending spiral, which is where the evolution of the human race is going. So anyway, let me just give you a little sample if we have the time.
Okay. I mean, we do, honey. I told you we got all night. You know, we just have to renew the stream every 2.5 hours. We're doing great.
Okay. So first, I will have you breathe into your heart, and anybody who wants to learn more about this can get the book. You know, I also want to say, it's great if you want to buy the book. It's on Amazon. It's on, let's see,
Kindle.
Noble. Yeah, Kindle. You can get it on Kindle. But for those who just want a sample of it, on my website, I've got 10 free tools, 10 or 12 of that you can download for free. And one is this closing of the aura. I would recommend you download all of them. But and there's a lot of other free things on the website. Meditations that I've led and healing sessions that I've guided. So, and if you go to the website, divinemotheronline.net, you'll see the menu at the top. There's one that says free. And you can just click and you'll see all the free gifts that we have for you. So, and another thing, well, I'm just going to do the healing now.
Okay.
And I'll give the other thing in a minute.
Okay.
So I always start by saying, breathe into your heart, because the heart is the home of Divine Mother. So breathe into the heart and notice what's there when you breathe in. I mean, I could say breathe into the lungs because the heart is between the two lungs, but I'm really talking about breathing into the heart energy center, the heart chakra center. So breathe into it, but be aware of what is there. Many people will notice tightness, tension, heaviness. Some people might notice fear. Other people might notice expansion, openness, silence. Each person has their own special setup in the heart. So you'll notice whatever is there for you. But by breathing into it, if there is a block, the breath, which carries life force, will start to dismantle that block. And if it's openness, you'll deepen yourself into the openness and into the light. So either way, breathing into the heart is going to support you. So breathe into the heart, because the heart is the home of Divine Mother. So breathe in, and one of my tools is coming forth already. I have a tool called the Divine Nectar. The Divine Nectar is the nectar of divine love, the subtlest essence of divine love, almost tangible, but also very etheric. So breathe in, and it's pouring into us now. The divine nectar filling us now. So I'm going to call upon a few of our divine friends. I invite Divine Mother. We are one in the wholeness of all that is. We are one with each other. We are one with God. And I call upon Almighty Mother, Father, God, and all of the beautiful expressions of divine love from the world's traditions of truth. I call upon Divine Mother in her many aspects. And now I name from the Christian faith Mother Mary, Saint Mary Magdalene, the Black Madonna. I call upon from the Jewish faith Shekinah and the Jewish matriarchs. The Jewish matriarchs are, let me get them right, Rachel, Rebecca, Sarah, Leah. They're all ascended masters now. I call upon from the Islamic faith the divine Fatima. I invite from the Hindu faith Mother Lakshmi, Saraswati, Durga, Kali, Parvati, Gayatri. I invite from the Buddhist faith Tara and Kuan Yin. I call upon from the Shinto faith Amaterasu, White Buffalo Calf Woman from the Native Americans, Isis of the ancient Egyptians. I invite Gaia, Mother Earth, Prakriti, Mother Nature, and all the expressions of Divine Mother from the world's traditions of truth. A tradition of truth, I might mention here, is a tradition that recognizes we are all one. We are not separate. God is not above us and judging us. We are all one. That's another discussion, but we'll go into that another time.
Oh, yes.
So, and then I also call upon the masters, the great master teachers around whom the world's present spiritual traditions have grown. Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, Abraham, Moses, the divine presence of Muhammad, Lord Buddha, Lord Ram from the Hindu faith, Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lao Tzu of the Taoist faith. I then call upon the archangels, and I'll name them, but I won't go into every archangel right now. I couldn't go into every of them, there's so many. I name a few. And I call upon the archangels, the ascended masters, and the gurus. The gurus are those great teachers who come to teach us about who we are really and what our potential is and enable us in achieving that potential. So I call upon the gurus, ancient gurus and modern gurus. I'll call upon a few of them now from the ancient because they're so, even their names vibrate such beauty and power and strength. Vyasa, Vasishta, Vishwamitra, Shukadeva, Shankara. And then more modern gurus that many of you may have heard of. Sri Brahmananda Saraswati, Sri Ramana Maharshi, Sri Ramakrishna, Anandamai Ma, Neem Karoli Baba, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. The mothers that are, the divine mothers that are present and lively at this time. Amaji, Karunamayi, Mother Mira, Shri Ma, Anandima, Guru Mai. And then please invite others of your own that you feel close to. These great beings are here to help us and remind us of who we are. These great ones will never put us, I'm going off of a little bit out of the healing, but they will never put us down because they realize we are one. So they won't say, oh, you're such a lowly, ignorant fool. They couldn't do that because they recognize we're one with them. So,
Right.
yeah. So you will always be uplifted by these divine ones. So I call on them. And then I'll make a sacred circle, and we might as well do it now for this whole program. So we'll surround. I ask Archangel Michael with his blue flame sword of truth to surround everyone listening, and everyone listening now and everyone listening at any time in the future, to be surrounded with a sacred sphere of holy light. The sacred sphere of light is assuring that only the energies of the archangels and great awakened ones of the universe may enter this sacred space. And it gives us the comfort and safety to be able to settle deeply, knowing that we're not going to be attacked or invaded by some small disturbed energy. So Archangel Michael, I ask you to guard this sacred space with your legions of angels. And Archangel Michael is now standing in front of us, behind us, to the right of us, the left of us, above and below us, as we sit within this sacred sphere of holy light. And then the next step is to say, divine light is pouring into us. My divine light tool that I learned from that little spark of light that I saw so many years ago. Divine light is pouring into us now. More and more divine light filling us now. We are bathed in divine light, soaked by divine light, healed by divine light. Soften in your heart. Soften in your throat. Soften in the brow, third eye. Soften at the crown, at the top of your head. Soften at the base of the spine. Soften in your pelvic area. Soften in your navel solar plexus. And then in your heart again. Softening is an intention. Intend to soften again in the heart. Softening through the boundaries of what is the heart into that larger you. Soften in your throat. Soften at the brow, third eye. And now the crown. Soften at the base. And the pelvic area. The navel, solar plexus. And then again in the heart. As we soften, we're settling. We're expanding. We're giving ourselves permission to be bigger than just these energy centers even. The energy centers are expanding. Because in truth, we are infinite. We are divine beings living in a physical form. But we can soften beyond the physical form into our larger self, the big S self. Softening, letting go, healing. This is what is significant, is we are healing as we soften. We are healing because we are moving into that deep self, that infinite presence that knows only perfection. So as we soften into it, any of the imperfections in our system, whether they be physical or vibrational, shift. They align with the truth of the universe. And of course, that divine nectar is pouring into us. I like to use the Sanskrit term for the divine nectar, soma, S-O-M-A. It's a simple word, soma. And when you say it, it expresses. Sanskrit has the quality of name and form. When you say a name in Sanskrit, in the subtle, the form is created. So we're actually creating the soma when we say soma. And the divine nectar is expressing, filling us, healing us, soothing us. So then I'll close the aura. I want to do that for everyone. So I ask Archangel Michael and Divine Mother to close our auras to any limited plane, domain, or dimension. You see, we are unlimited beings, and if we believe we are limited, we get caught in a box. And now we're breaking out of the box. So we don't want any limited energies to pull us back, to make us think, oh, I'm such a lowly, suffering human. I'm unworthy. I'm undeserving. All the negative things that humans think about themselves. And we don't have to, because we create with our thoughts. And when we think those negative thoughts, we're creating that within us. So I'm going to ask Archangel Michael and Divine Mother to close our auras to all the limited planes, domains, and dimensions, portals or pathways that may be limiting us in any way. So we close to the astral plane, close to the limited extraterrestrial realms, close to the false gods, close to the lost souls, close to the negative thought forms, close to the heavy, dense energies and entities, close to the interdimensional fields, close to the COVID virus, close to the collective consciousness of our planet at this time, close. We are lifting the consciousness of this planet. So let's close so that we're not influenced by this present consciousness, mostly run by fear. Close. So these doors, openings, holes are now closed, and we are still open to all of the light, to all of the positive energy on the planet. We are still open to the love. We are still open to the grace of Mother Earth and Mother Nature. So we're not closing off. We're simply lifting our vibration to receive the divine vibration. We're saying no to those energies that would try to pull us off our path or pull us down in some way. So these doors, openings, holes are all closed, and we are opening deeply into our true self, our authentic self, and stabilizing there, centering there. And then I'm not going to do a full healing, but I'm going to just pour in the divine light, more light pouring in. And as I do these healings, and what you'll read about in this book and learn to do is we'll first start with the emotional level. And anything at the emotional level that is disruptive or discordant, we say, go into the light. Go into the light. Go, break. We're breaking the structures of the vibrational discord. Break. Structures get built from our thoughts. And if we think, because our thoughts are vibrations. So if we think a negative thought about ourselves for a long time, like I'm stupid, or I'm unworthy, or I don't deserve, or I'm I'll never make it in life, whatever those thoughts are, they start to create a grid. And so we're breaking those grids now. Just by saying break these vibrational structures that are not the truth of who you are. Breaking the untruth. Break, shatter, break. And go into the light. Break. All around this, all in the auric field. Break. All in the emotional field. Break, shatter, go. Break. And then inwardly say, or out loud, depending on where you are, but most times if you're with others, you just say it inwardly, I give myself permission to let go. And then you soften and expand, letting go of that frenetic activity and those cages and chains of the negative thought forms and thought patterns that have captured you. Break, shatter, break. Shatter, break, go. Go into the light. I use the break command and the go command a lot to clear the discordant energy. And we keep softening in the heart, softening in the third eye. Ma, the Divine Mother, is really present. She wants us to clear and cleanse and recognize her as us. Break, shatter, go, shatter, break. And then we'll go through and clear at the mental level and the etheric level. Definitely at the physical level. Break any. I'm kind of not going to do a full healing right now, but I want to give you a taste of what this can do for you. And actually, then you can even learn. This book that I have is designed for you to heal yourself, but you can use it on your friends and family members by just changing the pronouns. Instead of saying divine light is pouring into me, you say divine light is filling my sister now. And use your sister's name, more divine light. So we go through like that. And returning to the softening frequently to keep the expansion there, to keep your infinite status intact. And let's see what else. Anyway, we'll go through should we do the mental? No, I think I'm going to clear. There's the mental. We'll clear at the mental. I did the emotional, the mental, the etheric, which often has a lot of gunk in it. It's your subtle vibrations, that subtle field around you that collects stuff from your environment and also from your own thoughts. And so it's important to clear at the etheric level. The physical, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
The physical is influenced by the mental and emotional and etheric. And so that's why I clear that first. And then because we're clearing for the physical a lot when we clear at the mental, the physical, and etheric.
Right.
Anyway, but I want to get to the astral because that can be, the astral level can be gnarly. Some of the go there. Okay, so some of the disembodied energies that don't move on after they've left the body from other people can go there and get stuck there and bother humans. So I'm going to say we're going to clear at the astral level right now. So I now address any and all limited energies, entities, negative programs that are influencing any of us at this time. Go into the light. Go into the light. Go into the light. And sometimes you inwardly have to say, I'll have people say, I give you permission to go into the light. Because we've gotten a relationship with some of these energies.
Mm-hmm.
So just say, I give you permission to go into the light. Go into the light. The kindest thing you can do for a limited energy is to send them into the light. It's a blessing. Go into the light. So I'm just going to go do this for a few minutes. Go into the light. Go into the light. There's a spiral of ascending light, swirling and spinning upward, lifting our vibration. Go, break the structures. Go into the light. Break all around you. And I also want to say that truth cannot break. So anything that is true and good for you will not break, will not go. True love will not go. True goodness will not grow. True strength, true power cannot go. True power, honestly, true power is love. That's the most powerful energy in the universe. It's also the most healing energy in the universe. So anyway, break. I've been going on and on. I haven't let you say anything, Aeson. But
well, no, you're doing quite well, honey. I mean, the healing itself is very soft. It's very subtle. It's not like Reiki.
Yeah.
Because I've used, I've been Reiki master for years. I do Reiki treatments. My partner had neck surgery, and that's when I got to play with him and Reiki with on him.
Break.
So how was your husband? When did you tell him that you were filling him up with light?
Oh gosh. How is he? I don't know if I ever told him. He just finally got it.
Yeah. No,
he saw me doing my thing. He saw me doing my thing, and he's like, "Wow, that really works, doesn't it?" I think and so now he uses the tools.
Right.
So,
good.
Can I just finish something? Because I'm kind of in the middle. I just want to finish this break for the astral level, and send all those energies. Because I'm aware of what's healing, and so let me just finish sending it. Go into the light. You are loved and forgiven, healed and released. You are one with your own higher nature. You are one with your own divine self. You are filled and surrounded with divine love. You are filled and surrounded with divine light. Go in peace, dear ones. Go in peace. Go into the light. Go in peace. Thank you. Soma. And then I'm just going to activate this spiral of ascending light that's spinning upward through everyone, through all of us here, through everyone listening. and allow that spinning spiral of ascending light to just swirl upward like a golden funnel, taking everything up into its next stage of evolution. Thank you. And thank you, Divine Mother. She's the one really doing all the work. And so it is.
And so it shall be.
So that's just a little mini healing.
It's very much soft energy for those who are wondering.
Yeah.
That maybe couldn't get clicked in or into that vibrational thing. The things that I find interestingly common is your healing ritual or healing techniques very much remind me of a lot of the Hinduists and the Kuan Yin followers' healing techniques, which is very nice. Works within that same realm of the divine energy and linking and chaining in. I know you teach meditation, and for those that are just starting meditation, be another voice in this echoing. Your mind doesn't shut off. It pops up with your to-do list. It pops up with, that you've got this to do and that to do, and there's this crap you've got to sort out with your boss and everything else. When you're first starting it, it's not like this. You quiet your mind.
Actually, the method of meditation that I learned and taught was Transcendental Meditation, as taught by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, which uses a mantra. And the mantra is a sacred sound. It gives the attention a focal point. So when the mind goes off and wonders, oh, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? Or why did my boss say that? As soon as you realize it's gone off, you bring it back to the mantra. There's a beautiful method of teaching that TM has that's very effective and brings a person into that transcendent, because you keep, whatever the mind does, you keep centering it back into this mantra, which is truly a vibrational, it's a sacred sound that will take you deeper and deeper. Now, and that's one I recommend. Transcendental meditation is great. People, it's still being taught. I'm not personally teaching it anymore, but it's a wonderful thing to learn. There is another way that I can give people immediately, and that is this centering in the heart, this breathing into the heart that we did a little bit of in the beginning. Just breathe into your heart, and again, notice what's there, and your mind might be pulled off, but keep with these thoughts, but of the day and all that, but bring it back and keep breathing into the heart center. And if the mind's super busy, you may have to take some deep breaths, like, the breath is prana, and it settles it brings the prana in to sort of take over the body and soothe it and settle it. So that's another method that I often lead people into, is this working with the prana by breathing into the heart. And then a third one, I might as well, we did it, is the softening in different chakras. And I always start with the heart, because the heart is the theme of Divine Mother. She is all love. So the heart, all the primary chakras of the body. That's and it does several things. It aligns by softening like that. It aligns the chakras. They each help each other. It's a chakra system. So when there's something healing in one chakra, then the others will have to adjust. And so it's beautiful how the chakras can heal. And it definitely allows healing in the body, because every chakra center is kind of responsible for the well-being of certain organs that fall within
Right.
chakra center. So so there are 3 suggestions for meditation right there.
Right.
Meditation is super important because it brings you to that. The goal is to get to that still point,
Mhm.
and that's that transcendent, or that pure being. And but
Mhm.
you're right. The mind can get very agitated and pull you off. So
Right.
that's why some need is there, some focal point is necessary to be there.
Mhm.
So
Very much so. And just to let it happen and pull it back. Like let the whatever, like, yeah, from what I tell my students is,
yeah.
if you're doing meditation right, if your brain just pops up with 100 different things, and that just goes over to the wayside.
Yeah, but then bring it back.
Right. Let it go run away, and then let it come back, and then
Yeah.
and I like the breathe in thing. I actually didn't hear that until recently when I started practicing yoga, and they were talking about breathing into muscles and tissues, and that thing is just stretching out your muscles. Like breathe into the stretch and breathe into this and breathe. And it took me forever to get that to click, because it's something for meditation that I hadn't heard for a very long time.
Hmm. 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 Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So, what other services do you provide? You've got the book out. What are you teaching? Where are you teaching at? How are you doing sessions?
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually live in Iowa, the middle of
Uh-huh.
the country, and I do lots online. So if you go to my website, divinemotheronline.net, DivineMotherOnline.net. And also, if you just Google my name, Connie Huebner, you'll find it. But DivineMotherOnline.net is my website, and I do a lot of things. I teach a lot of classes. I teach people how to do these Divine Mother healings. I also, every Saturday morning, I have a meeting, and every other Saturday is free. But people, and the reason I do that is I just want everyone to be able to receive this. So I have, so sign up for one of these Saturdays. You do have to sign up, and you can do so on the website. But where I take you into a deep meditative healing, and we really clear, and people have great experiences during this. It's a 2-hour session. You don't have to be still for 2 hours. I explained that if you feel you need to walk around or stretch or something, that's fine, but keep your attention on the words I'm saying. And truly, they're led by Divine Mother. And I'm going to give you a little. I'll let Divine Mother talk in a minute. She wants to talk. And so that's I have those Saturday classes. I also have something called the Ascension Program, which is a course that people can take, and it's really a beautiful course. It's about ascension. It's about our all life is evolving. Human beings are evolving, and human beings are evolving into an ascended state, which is a very powerful and incredible state of consciousness, and where there aren't a lot of humans in that state right now, but we're coming onto it. We're entering a new time for the planet, and so we're coming on to the ascension. I mean, Jesus, of course, ascended, Mother Mary, and there have been many others who ascended. But so for those who are interested in that, I have an Ascension program which meets once a week. And if you can't be at the meeting, you can get a recording of it, because we send a recording of it out every week. And we not only send a recorded version, we send a transcript, a written transcript. So you can
how lovely.
Yeah, we do all things. We also, in that class, I have something called homework. Really, it's exercises that people can do to work with this transition that's taking place on the planet. We are all transitioning very quickly, truly, out of an old state, a state I call a state of ignorance, into a state of awakening. And but we have to kind of practice living differently to really grasp it. So I have homework exercises every week. They're simple and they're optional. You don't have to do it, but people who want to do it, and sometimes people will do it one time in a week, and some people want to do it every day. But there are a variety of different things that you do within yourself, and also things you do in interacting with the world, working with nature, recognizing nature and actually learning from nature, communicating with nature. So the homework is really fun. And then in the meeting we have once a week, people write in their experiences if they want to, and Divine Mother will comment on their experiences. So they get an close interaction with the Divine Mother. And what else? Oh, I train practitioners, people who would like to use these healing tools in whatever energy healing modality they have, because even massage therapists use these tools when they work with people. Or you can be a Divine Mother healing practitioner. There are many of those around. And let's see what else. Well, this is one of the most popular ones. It's called Dialogue with the Divine Mother, and that's what I'm going to go into now. So through my experience with Divine Mother, I started talking to her, and this was really through a sort of trial and error. It's not, it's a dialogue. I don't know. I want to say not channeling, but it's channeling in that I am bringing her information through, but I'm actually in a dialogue with her. I'm asking questions, answering, and so I teach people how to do that, because anyone can talk to God. And I got interested in it. What was it? The 80s or something? Neil Donald Walsh came out with his book, Conversations with God. That was one thing that motivated me to want to get to the kingdom of heaven. It's like, I want to talk to God. So God turned out for me to be a mother, the Divine Mother. And just on a side here, the Divine Mother is coming forth in many places right now. There's an upsurge of the Divine Feminine. The reason is that our human family has gotten so disconnected, so conflicted. We're fighting each other. We're polarized, and she's coming to bring her human family back together, to bring her back. Just the mother can't stand to have this disconnected family, so she's bringing our whole human family back into unity again. So that's one reason I believe you see the Divine Feminine just coming up and everywhere. And even in men. The divine, and what I say that because not in terms of any kind of sexual preference. It's just the mother is there. We're all the male,
Mhm.
female.
Right.
So, so it's beautiful, and so I'm going to let her talk now.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I usually just I settle down. I say, "Mother, are you here?" Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. And oh, by the way, I'll preface this by saying I teach people how to do this.
Uh-huh.
So first I'm going to, and this is, I'm a teacher, so I can't even talk
Mhm.
about teaching. So I'll take some breaths into the heart. And I recommend your listeners do this too. Just breathe into your heart right now. A couple times, 2, 3 times, and say, Divine Mother, come forth. And then see what happens. And what I'm noticing is a big, beautiful flow of energy coming right up from my heart. Oh, she's beautiful. And then I actually teach people from there, but I'm not going to teach right now.
Mhm.
I'm just going to let her talk. So I'm saying, Divine Mother, do you have something to say? And she's saying, oh, yes. And she always introduces herself saying, I am Divine Mother. I come in the name of the infinite wholeness of divine truth. I love you. I know who you are. Trust. You are beautiful. You are a divine being living in a physical form. My heart is healing your heart right now. Trust. We need to heal the hearts. The hearts hold so much pain. And I am here to heal your hearts. I love you. Love has been diminished on this planet. And as we move forward together, I'll let you ask a question in a second. As we move forward together, love will increase. And I don't mean romantic love, although that too. I'm talking about love as the vibrational force that holds your body in a form, the vibrational power that keeps the planets moving in their orbits. It is the vibrational power that can transform the human race. And I am here working for this. And I am infinite, so I will not stop until it is complete. Did you want to ask a question, Aeson?
Just more so, how is it for you as the transient?
What do you mean?
Meaning the channeler, transient, the message giver. Are you there or are you gone?
Are you talking to Connie? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll let her talk. So I'm Connie. I'm right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I saw the shift.
And I'm having a wonderful time giving Divine Mother my
Mm-hmm.
Just letting her, I hear what she's saying inside me,
Uh-huh.
like right now. And she's silent at the moment. Do you want to say something else, Mother? Yes, I do. But I want them to know about you as well, my daughter. Yes. And how grateful I am that you have agreed to introduce me to others, to everyone, truly.
So, Divine Mother, what's your thoughts on being edited out of most of the books and like the scholars having to seek you?
Well, as Connie was saying, there has been tremendous ignorance in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I have always been here. I've never been gone, just perhaps silent, waiting for my opportunity to heal, to comfort, to release pain, to love. I am love.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime that you are experiencing love, we are one. The mother is the birther of the universe. And I am one with Divine Father. We are one. We are one. We are Mother, Father, God.
Mm-hmm.
And the mother's time has come now to this planet to bring back the nourishment, the nurturing, the freedom, the deep, unconditional force of love. I am not separate from Father God.
Mm-hmm. So, what's your favorite iteration?
I don't create those iterations. People create those.
Mm-hmm.
And I respond to what they perceive. And I love all of them. I am in all of them. I am just different flows, actions.
Mm-hmm.
I can be Lakshmi and give the abundance to the world. I can be Mother Mary and give the deep compassion. I am all of those. I can be Shekinah and blast the light through the darkness. We are all one, truly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know anything else?
No, Mother, thank you.
If you ever do, just say my name in your heart, Divine Mother, or call me by a personal name, Shekinah, Kuan Yin.
Morrigan.
Yes, yes, yes. And then say, come forth. You see, I am both the infinite silent wholeness and the movement, the flow. So whether you meet me in the silence or meet me in the flow, I am here. I am the Shakti. The Shakti is the life force that creates everything. And yet, my purpose in creating everything is to bring it all back, to recognize the source. The wave goes up and then it falls back into the ocean. And then the wave flows up again. And falls back. And that's what I want you to know. That as you move through life, don't neglect the falling back into the silence, into the depths. Trust. It's all beautiful. And I want you to know, Aeson, that I love you. Thank you for your work.
You're welcome.
This is Connie now. Anything else you want to say, Mother? Oh, yes. I have lots I want to say.
See, I told you have more books to write, Mother.
I could write books, or I could speak to you directly within your heart.
Do both.
Thank you. I do have another book coming.
Mm-hmm.
Connie's organizing it. It's a book of knowledge, of wisdom.
At least it's not poetry.
Soma, soma, soma. So, is there anything else you want to say right now, Mother? Not really. I'd much rather everyone find me within, because then I can personally guide you through this life. And this life is full of challenges. But I know how to get through all of them. So when you are met with an obstacle, something that seems insurmountable, talk to me. I know how to move you through it. We're a team. We can play as two, even though in truth we are one. Yes. But the universe is a great stage. So we are playing together on this stage. Never forget, though, that we are truly one. And keep coming back into the depths of the ocean. That's what your meditations are for. And as you practice the meditations, day in, day out, pretty soon you never lose that silent presence. The depths of the inner ocean. It's with you always. And then great things can happen for this world. The earth is going through some birthing pains now. But there will be a new time being born. The child is crowning its head in preparation for this great new birth. Be patient, yet keep moving forward. Stay in the light, stay in the love. Break the structures of untruth.
Okay. Oh, there she is. Welcome back. Connie, you with us? Darling, Connie. Okay. All right, guys, let's take a sip and we'll be right back. Oh, hello, Joe. I believe
Hello.
Connie froze on us.
I believe she was having a few issues there. So, yeah, that was an unfortunate end. Yeah.
But guys, go get her book, Divine Mother's Healing. It's a really good book. It's a great read, a good workbook, a nice healing technique.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So what do you got for us, Joe? What's on our news beat today?
Oh, well, news? I was supposed to have news? What?
Well, yeah, there's that whole group chat where you share stuff with us.
Oh, yeah, there's that. I mean, we can go through that.
Yeah. Let's go through that.
Yeah. Well, I think actually you had a couple going there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think we have one about Dr. Oz.
Yeah, he's running for the Senate.
Well, he is, but there was a little more to it than that, wasn't there? Apparently, his wife's created quite a little bit of a problem here. Oh, look, I think we have I think Connie finally got her connection back.
Hey, there she is. Let's bring her up.
Okay.
All right. I gotta move people around here.
Hi.
Welcome back, Connie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, it wasn't on my laptop. I didn't have it.
Huh?
Again.
Oh, goodness. That happens. Seems to me every time I have spiritual people on and we're doing spiritual stuff, it'll freeze. And I'm like, okay, that's when Spirit says it's over.
Well, and anyway. Then he's often. Oh.
Glad
I was
you found somebody in my place.
Yeah, this is my co-host Joe. He normally doesn't come on when I have guests. We bring him in after for the next segment. Oh.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was in the middle of giving a beautiful message from Divine Mother. Mother, do you may just like to finish up? Mind?
No, I don't mind.
Mother, do you have any? Mother, you finish up? Oh yes. I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you. Anytime you want to meet me, just say my name. The steps are to say my name and then pause. Say, Divine Mother, come forth. And pause. And wait for a signal. I'm an energy, so you must look for my energy. Maybe a warmth, maybe an expansion, maybe a light, a physical sensation. And then say to me, are you Divine Mother? And if you get an expansion, that means yes. Energetic, that's the energy, in simple terms, that's the energy language for a yes. If you get a contraction or nothing happens, that's the energy language for no. If you get a no, just do a little more clearing, just bring in more light. Say break, break, break. There might be some barrier preventing me. It's not preventing me, it's actually preventing you from noticing me. So just break it. Break, 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 break. Say go into the light to it. Use these healing tools. They will clear you at the subtlest level where I reside. So then, again, soften in the heart. I'll go through the steps. Soften and say, Divine Mother, come forth. Or Divine Mother, reveal yourself. And then pause. Wait for a minute. And see if anything shifts. And if you notice a shift, you say, are you Divine Mother? If you get a yes, then say, do you come in the name of divine truth? That's an important question to make sure that you're not fooled by some fake spirit or your mind, your thinking mind. So just say, do you come in the name of divine truth? And again, look for the expansion. If there's an expansion, yes, that's a yes. If there's nothing or a contraction, then we need to do more healing. Break, shatter, go. So then, next question to me is, what is your message? Because I do have a message for you. So then you say, what is your message? And then hesitate. Now this is where you're going to have to learn how to turn a vibrational language into your language, whether it's English or French or Tahitian.
Or Russian.
Russian, yes.
Yes.
I do have some Russian, many Russian speakers. So anyway, so you use your intuition. You use your intuition and you feel it at first. You feel the meaning. And it's often something like, the first message is often something like, I love you. Or you'll feel, I'm here. But let it be yours. I'm going to give you the message and then you put it into your words. Use your heart to feel into it, because I am in your heart. So those are the steps. I'm going to go over them again, 4 of them. First, it's very good to be settled, either to have meditated or to have done some of my healing tools, so that you're settled down, so that there's not the agitated energy of the mind all bothering you and distracting you. So we'll say, Divine Mother, come forth. And you say it silently. You don't bother to say it out loud. Just, it's an intimate thing. Divine Mother, come forth. Hesitate. Notice whatever you notice. Okay, Connie is going to say she's noticing just a warmth in the heart, right here, warmth in the heart. And so I'm focusing on that warmth and saying, are you Divine Mother? And the warmth sort of deepens, and it deepens down through my body into the solar plexus, gets stronger. So I consider that a yes. And then I'll say to the energy, do you come in the name of divine truth? And now the energy is even getting stronger, going down, even down into this deeper solar plexus, waist area, and intensifying. It's like it wants to burst. It wants to burst into knowledge. All right. So then, what is your message? And it's, I am Divine Mother. I come in the name of love. Healing is taking place. Healing is taking place. And then she's saying, soften in the face. Soften in the third eye. I'm opening your third eye. I'm opening your heart. I'm bringing you home. So then Connie said, is there anything else, Mother, that you want to say? And she said, no. I'm going to be with everyone on the nonverbal level. Continuing to heal you. And wake up this world. Okay, thank you. So I'm Connie. I'm both. You know how Divine Mother said, yeah. I'm the absolute, I'm that silence, and I'm the activity. Sometimes I feel like I'm Connie and I'm Divine Mother. Mm-hmm.
And it's really a split consciousness.
A what?
A split consciousness, especially when you go in and out of trance like that.
Well, it doesn't feel like it's split. What it feels like is a flow. It's like, oh, Divine Mother, and oh, Connie, and oh, Divine Mother. So it's a unity. It's actually a unity. It's not split. There's not, I'm now Divine Mother, I'm now Connie. And that would be very uncomfortable. It's like, oh, we're Connie. Well, now we're Divine Mother. And we're in this beautiful unity, this wonderful wholeness. It's beautiful. I enjoy it. And I do teach people how to do this. And it's very powerful to do this because it helps you through your life. You can ask her, we didn't ask her any mundane questions, but no question is truly mundane, especially if it has to do with somebody's personal life, because every personal life is significant. And so if somebody needs to know whether they should, go back to school, that's
Right.
important. Or whether, they should pursue this relationship, that's important.
Right.
But it's important. So Divine Mother is very uniquely individuated for each person and their life situation.
Right.
At the same time, she's universal.
She's very much universal. Peter, yes, this is live. I take questions sometimes, but not today. And no, Abercon isn't a cover-up. It is actually another variant. Read your science.
And love to you, Peter. So anyway, it seems like maybe it's time for us to conclude.
It is, darling.
But I want to just say this course I do teach, Dialogue with Divine Mother, is available, and I'm actually going to be teaching it in late February. We're going to give a free mini course, and then we'll have a longer course that starts in March. So again, if you're interested in the dialogue course, Dialogue with Divine Mother, go to the website.
Yes, which is divinemotheronline.net or .com?
It's a .net.
.net.
Yeah. So, well.
Thank you, darling. We'll take a sip, and Joe will hop in your seat.
Okay. Wonderful to be with you this evening.
Wonderful to be with you. Come back when you get your next book out.
Okay.
All right.
Alrighty. So gotta make a comment here though. You've talked before about all the problems of working with divine energy and the lovely world of batteries.
We saw you talk about that. Well, you've seen that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, tonight was a perfect example. I'm sure any other time that battery on that laptop for her would have gone on for hours. And instead,
there have been times you've handed me my phone and it'll go dead in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, though sometimes it's like just find the point in the day where your phone had charge. It's like good luck.
Anytime I didn't touch it.
Basically. Oh, Peter, good grief. That's a lot of that's a lot of crap. Anywho. Sorry, fun with comments on air. Oh.
Yeah. Anyhow. But no, Connie's really good. Get her book. It's fun. Be taking her classes. Now I'm going to go back and say hi to a few people because normally when I'm in interviews, I don't do the highs. Hi, Dottie. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Lorraine. I got to get up with you here soon and work out a calendar. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. Hi, Dottie. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Lorraine.
Yeah.
And
so,
Facebook user.
Dr. Oz. So
Dr. Oz
answered the phone.
And then it looks like that phone, like she was a little mad, like she was not happy to have a reporter calling her directly. So she apparently just like hung up on them. And so the reporter turned around and called back. And apparently at the same time, it's debatable. It looks like at the same time she thought she was hanging up the call. It apparently connected to an automobile, but with no sound out.
Right.
Just apparently microphone pick up. And so Dr. Oz and his wife had a very odd conversation about the reporter.
Yeah, because this is not a fan of Dr. Oz.
Nope, not a
At all.
fan, not a fan. Although, I mean, generally speaking, media should be neither, fan nor necessarily enemy.
Right.
When you're writing, you have to sometimes just kind of divorce yourself from what you're writing.
Right. Well, this
And
one has
go,
been known to write about some scathing reports. I mean, come on, they start the article out going, who spent many years promoting potentially dangerous and questionable practices on the Dr. Oz show, announced his candidacy. Now, that comes off as saying, you don't like him. Sorry.
well, I mean, you do have to take Dr. Oz with
Uh-huh.
a little bit of skepticism,
Mm-hmm.
because that's not untrue. He has promoted some very weird and random things over the years. Like, I don't think you could really describe Dr. Oz as,
Mm-hmm.
distinguished, renowned, esteemed. Like,
Uh-huh.
he's had a lot of controversy already through
Right.
his show, and
Right.
literally some of the things he has said are completely out there.
Right.
Like, not your best medical advice. Like, I think we can all, like,
Debatable.
well, for some of it, he has been shown to, I believe, be taking, a lot of money for promoting product.
Right.
Whether the product is all that great, I mean, and we see that a lot with television personalities.
Right.
About the same thing gets said about, oh gosh, his name escapes me at the moment. Texas Southerner psychologist TV
Dr.
show,
Phil.
Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
A lot of things get said about him, and there's some issues there.
Yeah. Well, but
Um,
Dr. Oz has, spoke up about, maintaining copyright of your own images. He has testified in front of Congress over this because his likeness was stolen and used in email scams. There's a lot of things that Dr. Oz has stood up for. Now he's running for Pennsylvania Senate seat. Problem is, he's renting a house there. He's not really a resident. He's been a resident in New Jersey. But the boo-boo that she done, his wife may have sunk his campaign.
it was all going so badly. I mean, that's kind of part of the article is the reporter didn't start by calling Dr. Oz's wife. This wasn't how her day started. Her day started with appropriate channels. And getting a lot of, like, bounce around. That, like, numbers weren't working, people weren't sure who she was supposed to talk to, or, how to do anything. So his campaign's already having some obvious issues with communications.
Right.
To then turn around and the reporter finally decided to go, well, let me see if I can contact them directly.
Right.
If I can't get anything out of official channels or can't even find your official channels, then you become the official channel. So let's talk to you. And yeah, so that's where this ended up. I just find it like and I'm sure this is probably not the first reporter that's been spoken of negatively.
Right.
I'm sure that many reporters have had burning ears by overhearing things that, people they're interviewing or people they're trying to interview have had to say about them.
Right.
I don't know about this reporter using it for the article, however. That's where I'm a little. I know it basically is the article.
Yes.
I don't know about using it for an article, because
Right.
these were, I would think, or would hope, most reporters would have walked away from that one.
Right.
And gone, look, they had zero idea.
Right.
None.
Uh-huh.
That this phone call didn't terminate.
Right.
And the polite, respectful thing to have done would
Right.
have been for the reporter to go ahead, once figuring out, hi,
Right.
neither of them know what's going on right now. I could see staying on the line, but not necessarily continuing to use it for their article.
Right.
I mean, not really quite sure what article they intended to write before this, but obviously that didn't occur.
Right.
Because it really does become all about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, it then, because this is a very confusing conversation. Apparently got his father instead of her. It got transferred around. And apparently this is the girl reporter who broke into a guy's house and stole all his photo albums. She was referring to a disgraced ex-Trump aide Connie relation after I had reported details of his single white man obsession with the White House officials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's it sounds like they had some, at least, familiarity perhaps with the reporter. And yeah, weren't necessarily.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that this is a story that should have been posted, first of all. Second of all, we can tell that this isn't a friendly reporter who didn't even have an appointment.
Well, with an appointment or not, like there's some misunderstanding, I think, regarding that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, part of this is a conversation between spouses.
Right.
And not necessarily something that was ever intended for others to hear.
Right.
Like, arguably, you can say they apparently have a decent relationship.
Right.
It sounds like they're at least on a similar page. They have a very open conversation going on there. But yeah, no, I
this is one of the reason I shared this and wanted to talk about this is because it's like, people, make sure you hang up your cell phones. Don't make sure they connect into things.
Well, yeah, that's a large part of what went wrong here, but it's also the thing of having respect for people when their phones don't hang up.
Yeah.
Like, that's, well, yeah, just hang up the call. Just realize this is not a call you are meant to be part of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Moving on to the next story I had for us. We've lost an endangered tagger over a man's stupidity.
No. No.
Yes.
So apparently Eco, a Malayan tiger, was 8 years old, and goodness.
Okay.
Should have never been near the tiger enclosure because he was supposed to be cleaning the gift shop and restrooms?
Yep.
What?
Yeah. Shouldn't have been near it. Shouldn't have even interacted. Should not have even came near his enclosure. He wasn't authorized to be in a tiger enclosure. Police say that the man has been attempting to either pet or feed the animal. Sorry, the last time I checked, there was only one lady that feeds her husbands to tigers, and she's on Tiger King. Not you, dude.
But But no, this is like layers of stupidity. So typically when the zoo is open, which it was not that day, they have a trained team and a lead darter for daily crisis activity. But this was apparently done while the zoo was closed. It sounds like this guy had way too much freedom to roam around the zoo. Though then again, most cleaning staffs have pretty free reign,
right,
around buildings and the environments that they're working in. Like everything seems so wrong with this guy. Like wrong career choice, wrong choice in the situation. Don't pet the tiger. Wouldn't think you'd have to tell an adult don't pet the tiger, but
don't go near the tiger. Don't go through 2 fences. There were not 1, 2 fences to protect the tiger. Yeah. And of course, in the end, the police had to shoot the tiger to get him to release his prey that invaded his house. Now, my question is, where is Castle Walls here? Florida has Castle Wall. The tiger was protecting his home from an invader. Why did it not just let him eat?
Well, we still typically do. I mean, at least in these situations, you're going to find humans technically outranking the tiger.
No, not when there's only 20 of them on the planet.
Unfortunately, though, in this situation, I'm sure the officers had no idea that they were killing one of like 20. It's
on the sign.
Well, yeah, but like they stopped and read the sign when like dude's getting mauled. I'm pretty sure I would not read the sign and be like, oh, ooh, dude, you're gonna die.
Right.
Like we just like we can shoot you. That's where we're at. We can cut off your arm. Like no. And I'm sure the zoo probably would not have preferred that outcome. It was a horrible situation. It was a horrible series of life choices. I am sure the zoo is never, ever, ever going to feel comfortable with an after-hours cleaning crew again. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to keep staff on site to very much make sure that.
No. I'm sorry. This is Methlow's law. This is the reason there should be so many stickers on my ladder. If you not only go through 1 barricade, but the second barricade to pet a tiger, your dinner. It's like dinner.
Yeah. It is sad. It is horrible. I hate that for the zoo itself. I hate that for an endangered species. Yeah. I mean that it's just.
Which, just correction, there's less than 300, so there's 299 possibly. Yeah. And we've destroyed their land. We've destroyed their habitat for vacations.
I mean, it is. It's truly horrible. Right. And this, but we've seen this over the years. Like,
right.
People just aren't getting this idea. Like, we've somehow made the zoo too friendly.
Right. And it's the double barricades.
Well, but even with that, it's not even that per se. It's just that we've made the idea that somehow process as like this is a petting zoo. Like these are not wild animals. These are, and I'm sitting here going, there are some animals that are safe to pet. Not all, not most.
No. Like that requires pet the animals. Furthermore, you go into their enclosure, it should be treated by castle law. If you go in to pet the boa constrictor and it constricts you, that's your fault. If you go into the tiger's cage to pet the tiger and it eats you, that's your fault.
Hmm.
And that needs to be the end of the story, because there's a very limited amount of stupidity that should be allowed in a zoo.
True. But at the same time, I think this was one of those situations that, because this had never happened before,
Mm-hmm.
because this was so outside of their normal operations,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a horrible freak accident to find someone both
No.
dumb enough to do it,
Right.
and to do it at a time in which they were absolutely capable of being able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this was outside normal operating hours, the normal operating situation, and completely just overshot anything they had ever planned for.
Right.
The zoo hadn't planned for this. I'm sure the cleaning company is absolutely livid.
Mm-hmm.
At the situation. I'm sure this is going to be in one of those horrible situations of insurance.
Right.
That I
love Brenda's comment. I'm actually going to highlight it. The remaining family gets the Darwin Award certificate in your memory. End of story.
Yeah, it's that's horrible. A set of life choices right there.
Right.
That's
all
all we can say.
So let's take Madison's question before we take on our asshole of, are you the asshole this week?
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
So Madison, 12/15/2001. Does Sean have a girlfriend? He wants to be friends, wondering his intentions.
I don't feel he has a girlfriend. I feel he's still trying to get comfortable with his financial situation, and he's wanting to take the smarter approach and ease into this. So, with strength showing up here, I would suggest you use the mental strength and get comfortable as friends and see where it goes, because he wants a relationship, but he wants to do it softly.
Okay.
All right. So, from our favorite segments, are you the asshole?
Yes.
It,
Did we want to take a sip first, or not? Just launch it.
Just launch into it.
All right. So, am I the asshole for telling daughter 11 the truth about her dad, which resulted in her no longer wanting contact with him? First time posting, and this is long, so please be patient. Bit of backstory. I gave birth at 17. I'm now 28. Was on and off with daughter's dad, let's call him Trev, for about 3 years after her birth, with him regularly going absent without leave for up to 6 months at a time, using Class A drugs, getting in debt with dangerous people, etc. No help financially. The stereotypical deadbeat. Over the years, Trev has spent at most 3 Christmases with my daughter, around 5 birthdays, and 0 school plays, sports days, parent evenings, the usual. Poor excuses, and more often than not, no contact from him at all. Oh, and next to no financial support. Shock. Every time he let her down, I would make excuses such as daddy's at work, daddy's poorly, etc., until I had enough, and around 7 years ago, I stopped telling her when he was coming and just let it be a bonus if or when he showed up. Fast forward 3 years and him getting himself kind of sorted, meeting a woman, having another child, and him making more of an effort with my daughter. Honestly, was very proud of him. This happened consistently for about a year. He bought her a phone for her birthday that year, and as soon as things were going smoothly, he splits up with his new girlfriend and falls back into his old ways. When I have a look on daughter's WhatsApp, I don't read her messages now, she was 8 at the time, I find he has repeatedly ignored her despite being online. And on the rare occasions he did reply, he was full of false promises. Not even on one occasion did he ask if she was okay or if her school life was going okay. This was over the course of a year. I'm obviously angry and confront privately eventually, and he again gives a poor excuse. So I block his number, tell him if he wants to contact her, he is going through me or close family members. Skip to Christmas, and we have arranged for her to spend Christmas Eve and day with him, as she has only ever done this once before. This was sorted after he had again shown me he was really trying, wanting to give him benefit of the doubt. Surprise, surprise, no show. Daughter asked where he is, and I'm honest. I'm sorry, I really have no idea where he is. We had a beautiful Christmas together, beautiful Christmas regardless, and after no contact with Trev, still by Boxing Day, I ring his sister, only to find he had spent Christmas in London with his ex and 2-year-old son. The day after this, my daughter asks if I've heard from her dad, and I can't not lie to her face anymore and tell her where he has been. She took this information surprisingly well and is more angry than sad. Mid-January, and he finally gets in touch, and my daughter firmly says that she doesn't want to see him anymore. He proceeded to say that if she did not see him, she wouldn't receive her gifts, and so my daughter, who, if much wiser than me, states she won't have her gifts then. 2 years later, she still refuses to see him, and I get slated, apparently, for poisoning her mind. Am I the asshole? Yay.
Nope.
Without question, the dad is so an asshole. So the asshole.
Exactly.
Well, but I'm sitting here going, I don't know that mom necessarily, I don't feel like she handled that age appropriately.
I think she did.
Like, I don't know.
The man is not wanting a relationship with his daughter. If he wanted to be a good father, he would have been there at every holiday. He hadn't been. He lied to her and told her he was coming, and he wasn't. And the mother told the truth, as I think children should be told every time.
I mean, I don't think what she did was horrible. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I understand the exasperation. I understand that, like, how, like, yeah. But I also feel like now this is scorched earth.
Right.
There's nothing he's ever going to do to fix that.
Right.
It was bad enough when the daughter is sitting there thinking that he just blew off a promise yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Versus knowing what he did.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's the point in which it becomes there's no hope of fixing that. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure that the other times he has blown her off, there's no good excuses there either, I'm sure.
Right.
Shacked up in a motel room, doing drugs, whatever.
Right.
I just don't see that. This has gotten it to a point. It's just so screwed. Right. There's no hope of fixing that. That's where I go, I don't know that she needed to know all the details at age 9.
Mm-hmm.
Especially given what the details were.
Right.
That basically your dad chose his other child over you.
And his ex.
And his ex. Well, granted, but still.
Andy's ex. Got to throw in that one.
Yeah. Like, that's just, yeah. It's a messed up situation. I don't know that there's any right answer or that there's any technical wrong answer in how screwed up that one is.
Yeah, but
I'm
if
just
you've made
going,
promise after promise that you're going to be there and you're going to be, picking her up on Christmas Eve and she's going to, and then you go off to London
Mm.
to get wasted with your ex and your 2-year-old. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are with she was old enough to know. I'm just going at 9.
Right.
I mean, yeah, okay. Like, I don't know that I would have had the heart to tell her at 9.
Right.
Like, I think I would have had to have, like, chugged along for a couple more years. Like, once she hit double digits and, I think I would have been more like, okay, like, let's stop this farce.
Right.
And been like, look, this is what happened.
Right.
I don't know that at 9 at Christmas or just after Christmas, I could have looked at this kid and been that, like, explicit about, like, this is what your father did.
No.
Like, I think I would just be looking at this kid going, you are not old enough to know that yet. Like, that's just, like, we aren't even going to go there.
Right.
Like, your father's a douche. I'm going to do everything to protect you from his douchiness.
Mm-hmm.
And she did. And I have no problems with the things she's done. Like, they make perfect sense.
Right.
I'm just sitting here going, I don't know that, like, I could have been the one to tell this child those details at age 9. That's,
Right.
I guess, where I keep having the sticking point is, like, 9. I don't know. That's, like, I think I would have just left it alone and been like,
Right.
Your dad makes bad choices.
Right.
And just walked away. Like, from the conversation at that point. Just like, we're not going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that wouldn't have been untrue.
Right.
It just wouldn't have been as detailed. Like,
true.
Like, I can't call her an asshole for that.
No, she's not an asshole. I think the dad is a useless piece of shit and an asshole.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think anyone argues that. Like, no one has voted this guy Father of the Year. Like, no one ever. No.
All right, so now for our good news.
Mm-hmm.
Professor gets a cardboard box filled with $100 bills mailed to him anonymously to help his students. One day last September, the head of the physics department at Hellman City College in New York campus had to face a normally unpleasant test of going through almost a year of lockdown office mail, and was stunned when he opened a 9-month-old box filled with $100 bills containing $180,000. Shocked in notes in 50s and 100s wrapped in paper bands, the anonymous letter and the return address to an alias was all accompanied with a parcel that was addressed head of the physics department. I've never seen this kind of money in real life in cash, Milton told CNN. I've never seen it except in the movies. So yeah, I was shell-shocked and just didn't know how to react. The sender evidently was unshakable faith in the U.S. Postal Service, desperate to send cash as a donation to the cash-strapped students looking to pursue physics and other sciences. The City College of New York is one of the most productive public university systems in the state, and the physics department has long punched above its weight. The Nobel laureates in physics received their educations there. In 1921, Albert Einstein gave his first lecture at the campus.
Oh.
I don't know. What would you do if you opened a box full of 150s?
Yeah, I think it would be in the same. Like, I would have so many thoughts there, though.
Right.
Like, part of me would be really upset that, like, back at the earlier part of the pandemic when this money was sent, I would be really upset that I hadn't gotten my mail in 9 months.
Right.
I would be almost horrified at the idea that someone mailed that much money.
Right.
Like, that's a lot of faith to have.
Right.
Because university mails go, and college mails and stuff, go through a lot of hands. Like, that's a lot of people that could have easily opened that package at any point. So there's that. And then there's the part of me that would, I don't know, I think, one, I would be confused till I figured out what, the hell is going on with that.
Right.
And then part of me would be like, so I'm supposed to use this money to help students. I would be having a moment of like, how do I decide that? How, like, 180,000 divided by how many students, and then what criterion am I supposed to set?
Well, first they had to hold it and do a long 2-month investigation, realizing that nothing could link to criminal activity. The board of trustees then had to vote to keep the money. Unsurprisingly, they did. One of the chairs suggested bronzing the box and putting it in a display case.
Which would probably cost about as much.
Right. Dr. Mathis, who grew up in India, noted that the gift would provide 2 fully funded scholarships every year for a decade, and that he would try to see it go into the hands of the students who needed it, who had the fewest means, which has immunities like himself.
Oh. But yeah, no. I mean, I don't know that that's what someone meant to have happen with that. But I mean, it's not that it's a bad thing.
Right.
I'm just saying it sounds like someone really intended for that professor to just be like, here you go.
Right.
Like, here's a bunch of tax-free money.
Right.
But I don't know that I could have done any better in that situation. I would have just been handing a box full of cash going, will someone please remove this responsibility from me? Because I don't know how to do this fairly, and I wouldn't necessarily want all of that on my conscience. Knowing that I was just handing out cash.
Right. Well, assuming that in the letter that was included, it says, assuming that you're a bit curious why I'm doing this, the reason is straightforward. The letter read, continuing to explain the generous writer had many years ago taken advantage of an excellent educational opportunity available at City College to study physics, earned a master's degree, and pursued a long, productive, and immensely rewarding scientific career.
Everyone's looking through their through their alumni list going, who is this donor? Which should tell you everything you need to know about alumni associations and just how aggravating they can be if you get on that damn list. Like, for $20, they can drive you crazy. They really will.
I don't know. I think that the alumni are now being trained by Scientology.
Oh, okay. Basically. It is. Well, I will say it's very cult-like. Like there's this like, yeah,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
do it.
especially your
Like
college.
I hate to say it, but no, it's all, well, it's pretty much any organization that works
I
off
do not get
token.
one email. I do not get one letter. I do not get one catalog from West Virginia University of Technology.
I'm just saying.
Granted, they've been bought out by two other colleges, but they don't send me any letters.
But I'm just saying though. There's a like alumni associations can be very, very persistent.
Mm-hmm.
As can a lot of charitable organizations. Like,
Right.
oh, like it really drives me crazy. Like, like they operate as badly as scammers. Like, I will say that they seriously, truly do. Once you give, like, they're bad enough just trying to get you to give one time.
Right.
And if you do that, oh God, you just made your life worse.
Right.
Like, they seem to be happy if you've never donated to call you like every couple of years, every 3 years, something like that, and be like, hi,
Mm-hmm.
But once you give one time, they're like every couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, see, this not what I no. Like,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be big. Like, you would think they would go after people who give decent sums of money. Like, no, they are perfectly happy to call you every couple of months and like see if they can get another $20 out of you. Like, just don't ever give them money.
Well, it isn't bad enough they they get the money the first round for your degree.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
the loan that you'll be paying off to your 70.
mm-hmm. Well, and like, oh, there's so many things that go into like that situation, because it's the whole college experience. Like, because you're forgetting like the overpriced fucking textbooks,
Mm-hmm.
all of the damn fees for shit, the overpriced on campus everything.
Joe, you
Like,
froze.
oh, I'm sorry, am I frozen still?
There you are.
Okay. But no, it's not just the tuition, it's like the usage fees, it's all of the overpriced textbooks,
Mm-hmm.
it's all the, just every fucking thing as a college student is overcharged. Like,
Right.
like the meal plans are bad enough, those are a fucking joke. But then
Right.
you start trying to eat on campus with cash, and God help you.
Right.
Those prices are ridiculous. Like I literally proved at one point our poor little on-campus Quiznos was using a signboard from Canada for its pricing.
Uh-huh.
As in the pricing, the prices I paid in US dollars
Uh-huh.
on my very American North Carolina college campus were the exact same prices I saw
Uh-huh.
on a Quiznos in Canadian dollars in Canada.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting here going, oh, so many things make sense now.
Yeah.
I was like, that's flipping ridiculous. You're talking about a 30% increase.
Yeah.
In what it costs for me to eat.
Right. But
Because
no, it's when your magazine comes in, or when their letters come, or I'm sure they do phone calls. I get annoyed.
yeah.
No, if it was your pride organization, sure, cut them a 20. Ship them down to 50.
Oh, gladly. Gladly. But no, the college, and granted, some of that may extemporaneously end up with those organizations, and I get that.
Baloney.
Well, I mean, it can. It can.
You
Like,
know that.
But most of actually how we funded organizations were student fees.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was this little circle
Mm-hmm.
of, we're taking money from all the students and then dividing it up by the student organizations through requests for funding. It's not like we got a flat budget.
Right.
Like that was the worst part of it. Especially when I was there and like we were not popular. Like granted, prior boards had worse, I'm sure.
Right.
Like 1974 was probably a really bad year to ask for money.
Right.
Compared to like 2004.
Right.
It was a lot easier by then.
Right.
But at the same time, it was like I think it was a little more organized by that point because
Mm-hmm.
we also had like some very devoted anti-us
Mm-hmm.
representatives on that student government board. So yeah, no, it was a headache.
Right. Exactly. That's why it's like, no. If you want to donate directly to that pride or any pride, sure, cut a check as long as it's in the bank.
Yeah, as long as that same, like, I hope it's gotten better because the other problem we had was, there's a little office for student governments that like there's a controlling office. It's like campus activities board or something. I forget what it's called now. But anyway, there's like, in addition to you have to get all your funding from student body and student government, you then have to deal with these paid university professionals working to manage the student orgs. And we hit a particularly ugly set of those as well. So it was like, it wasn't bad enough that like, we had a student government association who couldn't stand us. Or several members of it, I should say. We had a lot of supporters as well. But then we turn around and like the paid university professionals, like we at one point had a funding person who was supposed to manage our money that would just tell us, "Oh, I'll get back to you," and then would never get back to us.
Right.
So like we were constantly trying to do programming and like we had no clue if we had money.
Right.
Or he wouldn't write checks.
Right.
And so like we'd lose venues or we would lose, like we couldn't get bills paid.
Right.
And I'm just sitting here like, how? And then we go to like the head of that department and she's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't care. Why is there a gay in my office? Just this kind of like, get out.
Right.
It was weird. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, oh. Hi, Dre.
Hi, Dre.
But yeah, so that was its own experience. It was wild.
It was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's not uncommon though. Yeah. Like a lot of student orgs go through this. Like it's great if you're a beloved, student org on campus. But when you're not, oh no, it's horrible. It's just horrible.
Done good, Dre.
So I'd almost be afraid because we actually ran into a situation where we applied for a grant, received the grant, and didn't find out till a year later that we got the grant.
Yeah.
And by the point we found out, like that employee that managed our funding, was like, "Oh, I have to return it because you didn't use it in a timely fashion per their grant."
You didn't tell us we had it.
We didn't know we had the money.
Right.
So we had to go back to the granting organization and they were super awesome. Like I will never say enough things about Guilford Green Foundation. They are so amazing. Like, they were like, it's no problem. Just submit another application, explain what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll approve it. Don't worry, guys. We got you.
Right.
So we got to keep the money. We got to use the money. But that funding dude was so pissed he didn't have to write a refund.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just drug his feet on everything for us.
Oh, yeah. That's because he was against the org. Dre, I don't do general readings.
Yep, he works off specific questions.
Yeah. But no, if they call, hi, this is Sally from UNCG Pride. Sally, what do you need?
Yeah.
Can you take a card?
Can you? Well, you know, I wonder though, because that was a thing back in the day. Like, we didn't do a lot of fundraising.
Right.
We did primarily operate out of student government requests and getting approved that way. Most of the student orgs did. Fundraising on a college campus is a nightmare. We didn't technically need a lot.
Right.
Like, granted, we self-funded some things, like my poor wallet. Oh, my poor wallet. I got unreimbursed for so many things.
Right.
Like, even when we had funding, it was just me going, well, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
We got funded for $250. We're spending $450. I'm going to get $250 back. Okay. That sucks. Clairvoyant is an interesting gift.
Yeah. It is. It's fun. That's why I have to have a question.
Yeah.
So I know what I'm looking at, because you really don't want me to look at your dresser and tell you to go dust it, and there's your answer.
Although the reasons why you would get that as a response can be fun in and of themselves. But yeah. Alrighty. You waiting to see if Dre actually posts a question, or are we gonna wrap?
Yes. I'm waiting to see if Dre actually asked a question.
Okay. Time is a ticking. So yeah.
Yeah, so apparently the National Guard is at high alert again.
Why is the National Guard at high alert?
The governor says 37 combat medics will be recertified training this weekend in appreciation to hospital staff shortages in West Virginia's hospitals.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to send the Guard into the hospitals finally.
Well, I wasn't sure because we also have like more winter weather coming up, and like 460 had a massive fire on it, and which is a big east-west road through West Virginia, southern part of the state at least. And then like 95 backed up, and like it's been crazy.
Yeah, to Route 1. Like, they have been in deadlock. I hope Melissa and Bear, who went on vacation, did not get stuck in this.
Oh, no. No, hope not. All right. So we just need a date of birth, month, day, and year, and then we can get to your question. That's about as least general as I think.
Yeah.
That's general, but that's less general.
I'll take it.
Yeah. And we do ask for that birthday because he does have to make sure that he's not reading for someone under 18. Awesome. So 5/19/99, Dre asks, so do you think my current life situation will ever change?
Yeah. You're looking at about 2 months before it gets better. I think you've got to take stock of what you have and what you want to take with you as it moves forward. And I do feel when the cycle ends with the world here, it'll be a fresh start for you. But again, you're looking at about 2 months.
Okay. Well, hopefully that helps. And yeah.
All right, guys, we will be back on Friday with Mountain Bears. We hope you've had a great episode. Stay warm, stay comfortable, go get Divine Mother's Healing. One of our baristas may have gotten the book, or it may be on my shelf and going to go out in the next pass of it. But I do want to thank our baristas.
Absolutely. We do appreciate Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Guest, Shannon C, Shannon D, the ever wonderful Lady Gwendolyn, and Charles Shaw. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become one of our baristas and receive all the wonderful benefits that our Patreon sponsors receive, please visit us at PCSPnetwork.com.
Yes. All right, guys, we'll see you Friday night. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Oh, maybe. Where the heck? There it is.
This is a calm before the storm. You know what's coming, so be warned. You can't stop me now. You can't stop me now. Though my feet have come too far for you, so tie 'em to the ground.